Now, ever since the release of Star Wars The Force Awakens, a lot of fans around the world have always wanted to see more of the Knights of Ren and exactly what they are capable of doing in the sequel trilogy. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. And I think that the big reason as to why the Knights of Ren are very much a big interest by a lot of fans is because of how mysterious they really are, their backstory being so clouded, and exactly how they are going to be handled by JJ in, of course, the upcoming film, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, what's really intriguing about the Knights of Ren is that we do know that these characters are affiliated with Kylo Ren, and are going to be used in a way in order to show us, the fans, that Kylo Ren is in charge in this movie, and is indeed the master of 6 other characters in Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very exciting for the Knights of Ren and the names of the Knights of Ren in Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing is that it's described that one of the scenes that were filmed during the month of October involved Adam Driver and 6 unnamed actors, portraying the Knights of Ren during what's described as a slaughter scene in the woods. The scene is said to be attached to what fans got a glimpse of in The Force Awakens vision, and will be a part of Kylo Ren's story. It's described that some of the costume designs of the Knights on set were labeled as Aikido Ren, Hakuto Ren, Zara Ren, Shiro Ren, Mika Ren, and Karo Ren. It's described that the characters Hakuto and Aikido together work as a duo and use blaster rifles that have actually been working together before in the Star Wars film. Karo is described to have a sickle type of weapon and sports a hood over its head. One of the sequences that were filmed included Zara Ren jumping in mid-air, and is described to be very acrobatic and fast-paced. Meanwhile, Mika Ren is described to have a large spear where a blade protrudes out of the device that was used against some of the villagers in the scene that is said to be crucial to Kylo Ren's story. So I want to go over a couple of the costume design descriptions that we actually have learned about for the Knights of Ren. Now, we do know that the Knights of Ren are going to be very prominent in this movie. Very big characters. They're not just going to be mere cameos. They're not just going to have a small scene or two here and there. They are going to be very prominent in Episode 9, which is great because, after all, the Knights of Ren, a lot of people have great interest in these characters, and JJ is going to deliver. So what do I think about the names? Now, we heard about the names lightly before in the past, some of which are new, and I think that the reason as to why I really do like this is because it brings me back to, of course, Japanese samurai. You know, it really does have a samurai vibe to it, of how a lot of the names, obviously pretty much all the names, are all pretty much inspired by Japanese names used in the real world, and that's great and all. So, the thing that I like about the Knights of Ren is that, you know, we do know that these knights are going to be based on various movies over in Japan. We do know that J.J. Abrams not only was inspired by World War I, World War II, and even Vietnam, but he was also really inspired by the samurai, and a lot of that is going to be implemented into this story, as well as medieval times. So, with that being said, Episode 9, it really has a lot going for it when it goes to all these different themes and all these different ways of really illustrating these different characters that are going to have a lot of screen time in Episode 9. I want to go over the duo, okay? Now, the 2 Knights of Ren that really stand out to me, alright, is of course Hakuto and Aikido work together as a duo and use large blaster rifles that fans have never seen before in a Star Wars film. Now, these blaster rifles are said to be massive, almost like what we saw with Baze in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. You guys may recall, during his last stand on the beach of Scarif, he was taking out some of those Death Troopers, I believe they were, taking them out one by one. And what's great about Baze is that that weapon was massive, and that's exactly what the Knights of Ren will be using, or at least 2 of them, where they're in the form of a duo, they work together, and you can really see how they're bringing back that element of how they're using, you know, Chirrut and Baze, you know, in, of course, Episode 9 as a form of inspiration for 2 Knights of Ren in The Rise of Skywalker. As far as the other one goes, Zara Ren, alright, is described to be very acrobatic and fast-paced. Now, the Zara Ren character, obviously, you know, this could be a female for all we know, and because we do know that this, you know, movie is going to have a lot of different characters, a lot of different creatures, and different types of alien races that are going to be introduced in Episode 9, it does bring one to question. Are the Knights of Ren all human? Or are some of them actually going to be more around the lines of creatures, where they're humanoids or something around those lines, right? And when we think about humanoids, we think about all these different, characters that we have seen in the prequels and the originals that still have that human form but have a very different face, if you will, or a different shape of a head. Think Ahsoka Tano, right? She's a great example of a humanoid. She is, after all, a different species at the very end of the day, but she also kind of has the physique of a human. So with that being said, guys, I will say that the Knights of Ren, how they're really trying to insert them into this movie and how they're going to be used as a tool in a sense in order to show us, the fans, that Kylo Ren is in charge, I think is a great move by Disney and Lucasfilm in order to really make Kylo Ren feel a lot more superior, I guess you could say, in Episode 9. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.